How's it going, you guys? Welcome back to episode 3 of Christian and Crystal. So today we are going to talk about the juggling act,
Yes.
not the balancing. Go ahead and explain why.
So before we even started, we were kind of going back and forth on titles, and I'm like, how do you even achieve true balance? Like, something always has to give. So we were like, it's more like a juggling act. Like, you're always constantly moving, keeping your focus on one thing at a time, and then shuffling through it constantly to make sure that it's like continuing to move. So
Yeah,
I don't know. That was just my take on it. But balancing act, juggling act, we know what we're talking about.
for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. I don't think there's any real balance. It's just some areas require more focus. Sometimes we have to, for this past month, we've had to focus more on our girls, our kids. They are sick. So a lot of our time has gone to them. It just depends, sometimes, our family needs us, whatever it is. Like there's just, sometimes certain areas require more focus than others. So I agree. It's more just a juggling act than a balancing act. And yeah, before starting this, we were trying to figure out what to call this episode.
It's like a
It's
few
juggling.
moments.
Yeah. So that's cool. So, but yeah, welcome back. We're excited to talk about some things today. So, um, why don't you start with talking about all your balancing you do with real estate, mompreneur, um, and how you juggle all that.
Okay. So I came from teaching. That was what I had been working in previously. So now I am a realtor as of a few months now. And I also have my kids more, which is kind of the goal we wanted to go for. We wanted to be able to help people through real estate, but we also wanted to kind of prioritize family more. Last year, I feel like our kids were just like in daycare or in the after school program so much. And now I can actually go pick up like my girls when school's over and just be with them, do homework with them. And that's all part of the jungle though, right? Because I am starting a new career, trying to figure that out, but I'm able to have more time with my family too.
Yeah.
So I feel like, again, that's where you like give and take there. But I'm doing real estate, so I'm figuring it out. I'm figuring out the processes. I'm figuring out how to help my clients best, and just kind of growing and working through that. I as well has have an AV mompreneur group that I am trying to nurture and grow just because I think having support with like-minded people that are going through the same struggle as you is just so important that that connection just kind of fires me up whenever I go on there. I'm like, oh, that's so true. Been through that, done that. You can kind of help each other out and provide like some tips that you can help each other and just to grow your business and just kind of make sure that you're nurturing your family as well. So that's kind of everything I feel like that's going on right now. And also our relationship is so important.
Yeah.
And just making sure that we're keeping that set, like as a focus always.
And have our time. We do. We set our time to focus on our marriage, so that's important.
Yes.
So
and everyone else who wants to like talk and engage with us obviously takes time as well. And
yeah.
I feel like relationships is so important, and it does take up a lot of time though, because you have to build that trust. And
Yeah.
and our dog
Yeah. Our dog constantly needing attention.
Yeah.
If you have a husky, you know what we're talking about.
Yeah.
And ours likes to hang out with us while we make our podcasts. So as far as my juggling act, career, real estate, and being a dad, I think that where I've had the most success with this is in my career. What I've been able to do is build such a good leadership team that I can rely on to manage things in a lot of my absence as I'm building, another career, or just when I'm not there, when we're traveling, whatever it might be. But I definitely rely on my team a lot to kind of keep things running and keep things smooth. But I have been able to build a pretty good leadership team, so I'm very thankful for them. And I plan to do that same thing for our real estate business as well. So I know we've met some pretty good key players out here um, that we're looking to build, you know, our real estate team and some of our partners and such. So just to duplicate that. But yeah, I mean, as Crystal mentioned, like it's a challenge, you know, juggling everything is a challenge, and just there's going to be certain areas of your life that's just going to require more focus, and that's just the way it is, whether it's work, your business, your kids. Like it's going to happen, and that's why it's important to be able to lean on a very supportive spouse, partner, and community, because it's that's what it's going to take. It's going to take a team. You're not going to be able to do it by yourself. um there's just no way. There's no way I can do anything without you. It's just or my team, or it's going to require a team.
It's not about being perfect.
Yeah.
When you're juggling, you have a lot going on, and you just need to prioritize your time and your energy to make sure that you're just continually moving forward. And I think that's something that we're both working towards. As he mentioned, he has a great team that's able to step in, and that took time.
Yeah.
It took a long time to just train everyone, make sure that everyone has the correct resources, has the confidence to even make decisions on their own. And that's what I think people forget too, is yes, it feels like a sprint sometimes, but it really is a marathon. And just making sure that you're using your time wisely really helps with the constant juggle we're going through.
Yeah. 100%. Yeah.
So I think that this is definitely something that I have worked on a lot. And it kind of goes along with the analysis paralysis. Like, you just overanalyze. You try to make everything so perfect that you actually never move forward. And I feel like that's just part of the journey. Like, as you keep going, you just grow in it, you get better, and you're really just kind of have to focus on being present in the moment. You're growing and you're building, and you should be proud of yourself for that. You're doing something different that you would have done that yesterday, and you're just taking that chance, you're taking that leap and growing from it. And I've talked about this in other podcasts about social media and talking on camera. And I am a very private person. I'm more quiet. And this takes a lot from me to talk on camera and just kind of put myself out there. And it's something that I know I need to grow at. It's something I know I need to do. So it's a constant growth opportunity for me, which I absolutely love. And I'm enjoying the process. I'm just being present. I'm here with my husband, so I know that he'll be able to kind of fill in any gaps that I might skip over or maybe need clarification on. And I think that's just something that goes along with just figuring it out. Like, you just need to go with it. Don't focus on it being perfect. Just focus on being present in the moment, putting your energy, prioritizing, and just kind of going through the process.
Yeah. That's kind of how we just started this whole podcast. We just kind of just jumped into it. And I just pressed record. And, you know, we had ideas about what we wanted to talk about, but just we chose to be in the moment, press record, and just talk about our lives, faith, our business, our careers, and how things are going. So yeah, thanks for being with us along the journey. So how about you talk about, I mean, you were just showing me some of this today, but time blocking. Okay. And how that's helped with juggling.
Yeah. So definitely time blocking is amazing. And I'm still looking into this. There's so many different techniques and strategies. But I'm just focusing, playing hour, 2 hours on a certain task, and just focusing on that. Like, maybe let key people know I'm gonna focus on content creation right now. If it's an emergency, obviously call me. I will get my phone. I do have it literally like right here. So if it's an emergency with our kids or something, they always have access to us. But just figuring out what works for you. When is your time that you can focus on very specific, high yield tasks? Like, again, prioritize. What are the things that need to be done today? That's what's going to be in your time block. What's going to move you forward towards your goals? That's going to be your time blocks. And just focusing on that. You could just do 1, 2, 3 hours in a day starting off. Make sure breaking it up, having time to rest and reflect in between, getting a snack, drinking water, important things like that for your body. And just using that as one strategy that you could use just to help get things done. Because there's plenty of distractions in the world. And just even picking up your phone, looking at social media for a second, like,
Yeah.
continue to scroll, like, and you're like, oh no, it's been 20 minutes. Oops.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
For sure.
So.
And I think how you handle your day when nothing goes as planned is important as well. And I think that I've shared a lot of times where I have there's a lot of tasks to do, and I have a list that's just ongoing. And I know that not everything's going to be completed in that day. Where I think you're more structured in a way, like you want things sometimes finished that day. And so I tell you, like, it's okay, just whatever you didn't finish, just add it to the list tomorrow. Like, we'll get to it tomorrow. And it's a big deal for her. But I have a list that's just ongoing. I'll check some things off, and then my list is doesn't really end. And whatever I don't get to today, I just add it to my list tomorrow. As she mentioned, it's a marathon, so we'll get to it tomorrow.
It sounds nice in theory, but I want that. God,
I know.
Blank list.
Yeah, for the next day.
Yeah, I'm like, oh.
And my list is never blank. My list is just like, okay, I'll shift that over to tomorrow.
Sometimes I just delete things.
Rewrite it the next day.
Yeah. And put it for the next day, like, oh, this is a new thing.
Yeah. Oh, where'd that come from?
Yeah.
A new task.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's so funny.
Hit.
Yeah. That's hilarious. I think it's a hit of dopamine when you completing a task gives you a hit of dopamine. So, but that's something to keep in mind, and that's something that I was like, I kind of taught you, is like, keep a list. When you actually check things off your list, it actually gives you a hit of dopamine because you completed a task. And so it's important. That's why I'm always checking, and it's helped. I think it's helped. You see a list and you're like, okay, checking it off. I think where we need to get better is just, it's okay to not finish the list. And you're like, dopamine. You're like, yeah, and you're like, I didn't finish anything. I didn't finish everything.
I know 2 things.
Yeah.
Not complete. That's it.
Yeah.
20% is those 2 things. I'm like,
oh yeah, I didn't get anything done.
What did I do today? I had all this time, but I did nothing. Just 2 things. It was probably like wash the dishes or something. Like,
that's hilarious.
Pressure's a good thing, though.
Pressure. Yeah, go ahead.
So how do you think? Because you deal with pressure a lot better than me, for sure. I'll admit that. I have no problem admitting that. Something I'm working on. So how do you deal with the pressure of just your career, starting a new business, family life?
Yeah.
Dealing with pressure all the time. How do you deal with all of that?
I tend to thrive in pressure. I prefer it. I don't really like when things are just kind of just easy and you expect everything. I just can't. That's kind of why I picked the hotel industry, and I realized very early on, like, no 2 days are alike, and it's the same exact thing in real estate. No 2 days are alike. You never know what to expect. But that's how I thrive. I thrive in environments like that, and I enjoy putting fires out and finding solutions to problems, and it's just, I thrive in pressure. And the same pressure that breaks rocks makes diamonds, so it's all how you handle pressure. And when I'm interviewing people for jobs, I ask them, how they handle pressure. It's one of the questions I ask because I want to know. But I'll ask, like, give me an example of when you had high pressure, because sometimes it's like there's not even, I could usually tell when they give me an example of what it's just, maybe it was a high pressure to them, but just didn't seem like a lot of pressure, and it gives me an idea of how well they handle pressure, because I need people around me that can handle pressure, because it's gonna because I need a team of, I need diamonds, so it's I thrive in pressure. I prefer it, and I prefer to have a team around me who can handle the pressure as well, because it's always going to be there. There's always going to be pressure. There's always going to be challenges, trials, tribulations, things to overcome, problems that need solutions, and fires to be put out. I sometimes joke that I'm a firefighter. I just put fires out. Things are on fire, I go put them out.
Yeah.
I handle pressure well because I need it.
Yeah.
Which sounds crazy.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
A
little bit.
Yeah, no, I feel like that's such a good way to look at it, though, and I'm glad you said that, is that it's something you need.
Yeah.
So it's like, yes, you know how to handle it, you do well with it, but it's also like something that you need, and it sounds like you enjoy it.
Yeah, a little bit.
For real. You're like, yeah,
little strange.
Little organized chaos here, like bring it on. So I think that is just a good like segue into people that maybe don't enjoy it as much.
Yeah.
Like, have you had people on your team that maybe had difficulty with pressure, but you were able to kind of like build that up personally?
Yeah. I have had some of those, I think, that don't do very well with pressure, but it's all about how I respond to it. Mm-hmm. And so when in times of pressure as a leader, I need to be calm, collective, and I need to just find the solutions to the problem and make sure, all aces are in their places and everybody has a job to do, and we're gonna achieve this goal, and it's all gonna work out. But I have had people on my team who, they'll freak out, and they will get into their anxious brain, and nobody can think. When you're in your anxious brain, you can't think properly. You need to calm down. You can't be in your anxious brain, because it disrupts the thought process and decision making. So it's very important to remain calm and find the solution to the problem. And how I've helped my team who hasn't been able to handle pressure well is by handling it well myself, and then they follow that example. So and then I often say to them as well, in times of pressure, when I see that they're not handling it well, I will say, sometimes they don't like it, but they correct it, like they'll be like, yeah, no, he's right. And I say, just as I said earlier, the same pressure that breaks rocks makes diamonds. So they and I just say, which one do you want to be? Yeah. And so they process that, and they're like, okay, I need to handle pressure better. So, but I have to lead it,
that reminds me of when, oh my gosh, our kids fall.
Yeah.
This sounds so silly to compare it, but like how you act and how you respond to a situation affects everyone around you. It really does. And the times that like our kids have fallen and like are crying, and I'm like, oh my god, and like freak out, like they seem to just love it and freak out even more and cry longer than the times that I'm just like calm and like check on them. And that's definitely something that I have to remind myself of, because it's your natural response.
For sure.
I think for a lot of people, it's a natural response to kind of freak out a little bit, and just being able to remain calm in those moments that there's like high pressure and a lot of things going on is a skill. It's something you grow into and something you can get better at. Not everyone likes organized chaos.
Nope.
So I like, for people who are like, I don't like that, like you can't grow into it. I have grown into it a lot, and you have helped me with that so much. And
one of my employees would call me the chaos coordinator.
There you go. See, I think we even have a mug that says that.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think she got it from me.
Oh, yeah. I drink it all the time. I love it. It's amazing, but it's so true. So it's something you can grow into. It's a muscle, like the more you work it, the more it grows. So
100%.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
You said, what advice would you give someone who feels stretched then?
Mm-hmm.
And something that is in our notes as well is boundaries. I feel like those two go together.
Yeah.
Because I feel like if you are being stretched thin, it probably is because you do not have too many boundaries around like your mental health.
Yeah.
And just kind of figuring out how to set those boundaries. There's plenty of books on it for people who don't even know how to set any boundaries or have never had to actually take them into consideration. But definitely, I feel like boundaries is the first thing that you have to figure out. Where can you set some boundaries for your mental health? Because when you're being stretched thin, if you are not healthy, the people around you, you're not giving the best to yourself. You're not giving the best to the people around you. And then that affects everything. If you're not healthy, then you can't be healthy for the people around you. When you're like, what's that saying? Like the cup, you can't pour from.
You can't fill from an empty cup.
Exactly. Yeah. So you got to fill your cup first.
Yes,
you have to be able to
100%.
You have to have the energy to actually help others and be the best person you can be. So I don't know. Do you want to expand a little bit on?
No, boundaries are, I mean, you nailed it. Boundaries are extremely crucial and important in your personal life, but also in business as well. I think I'm very good at setting boundaries, but I also think that I've kind of learned that through my attachment style, which we've discussed in our last podcast, I believe, in our last episode. I'm avoidantly attached, so it's kind of easy for me to cut people off if I need them, if I need to set boundaries, if I need to be very direct. But if I see that there is somebody or something negatively impacting my mental health, my family, my organization, my business, I will speak on it. I will set that boundary, and I will remove that person or thing or situation that is causing that to happen. And I think that's very important. Is people don't know how to set those boundaries. They don't know how to say no, and that puts them in situations that's harmful to them.
Yeah.
And so I say often, as I've created boundaries with even family, you know, it's I don't hate you. I love me, and that's all it is. I don't hate anybody, you know. I don't hate you. I don't hate, you know, I don't hate anybody. I just love me. I love my family, and I have to protect myself, my mental health, and my wife and my daughters. So nothing against you.
Yeah.
I have my boundaries.
Yeah. And it starts with a conversation, like talk, you know. I feel like a lot of issues that happen because people do not communicate enough. Like you mentioned, you're like, it's not you, it's me. It's like you're breaking up or something. No, it is you. Like that's the problem. Like I'm cutting you off. But no.
Move forward is the light.
But so it's just communication. Explain, like right now isn't the right time. Right now I have to focus on whatever, you know, I have to focus on myself. I have to focus on my kids. I have to focus on this. And then once you're able to kind of communicate your feelings, it gets easier. And if that person doesn't receive it, it's kind of why you're probably having the conversation in the first place. And it's not gonna be easy. And just make sure you're always paying attention to the words you use. Like you're not there to hurt them. You're just setting a boundary for yourself, and you're there to help yourself. And you need to set that boundary.
Learn to say no.
Yeah, learn to say, or just say no, and just you don't need any explanation.
Not every opportunity or person deserves a yes. Yeah. Just learn to say no. Okay. All right. So that concludes episode 3 of Christian and Crystal. So just some takeaways. Just remember, balance isn't about equal time. It's about focused time. Be intentional with your priorities and give yourself and each other grace.
Yes.
So thanks for coming back, and we'll see you on the next episode.